What is going on, guys? Orhan here, and this is the LG G6. And you can consider this phone as a pretty big upgrade to the LG G5 that we saw from last year. And one of the ways you're going to see that is by design. So in terms of design, the phone has a pretty boxy and industrial look to the phone. Now that's not a bad thing. It is a more traditional route to a smartphone design in 2017, but it does feel really good in the hand, and that's always a plus. The back is made from a premium feeling glass, but it is glass, so it's going to gather a lot of fingerprints, but despite being glass, it does have an advantage of looking really nice. And another thing that popped out to me about the design of the G6 is the really nice buttons. The volume buttons are tactile along with the fingerprint sensor on the back, which also doubles as a power button. The phone also has a headphone jack, but one thing that it does not have in terms of audio is the audio DAC we saw in the V20. That only exists in international models of the G6. In the US model, the space that you would get for the audio DAC is replaced with other antennas that improve data connection. And another way that you'll be able to tell the difference from the G5 to the G6 is that display. And honestly, the display is one of the biggest features of the G6. But anyways, this year LG shrunk the top and bottom bezels of the display, which gives the phone more of a vertical screen to work with. But it does also alter the aspect ratio. It gives the screen a 1:2 or 18:9 aspect ratio. Because of this, you do see black bars on the sides of videos and photos that weren't taken in the phone's native screen resolution. But if you want, there's an option to crop the content to match the display. You miss out on some of the content that you're looking at, but it does make the viewing experience better in my opinion. But anyways, this screen is a 5.7-inch Quad HD display with a pixel density of 564 pixels per inch. Though the display is different, I do like the approach by LG. I think shrinking the bezels makes the phone look as futuristic as it can get, and makes the phone stand out from a market of ugly screen bezels. I wouldn't be surprised if other manufacturers don't do the same thing that LG is doing. We've known that bezel-less phones are the future, it's just that LG is the first company to take a stab at the concept, and I think that it will play out for them in the remainder of the year. In terms of specs, we're rocking a Snapdragon 821, Adreno 530 GPU, 4GB of RAM, 32 or 64GB of storage, which is also expandable up to 2TB via microSD card, and all of this is packed together in a 3300 mAh non-removable battery. Now all of that translates to a smooth day-to-day experience. It will get the job done for most people. I didn't run into any hiccups during my testing at all. The phone runs very smooth. The phone also runs Android N with the LG skin on it, and LG has done some work with the skin since the LG V20, but still, for my personal preference, I would still install a launcher that gives me more of a stock Android experience. I'll say one thing though, for a person that would enjoy the look and feel of an LG skin on the G6, the software does a good job of not throwing too many features in your face. It's relatively calm and nice to use from my testing, but for me, I just don't like the look of the skin. In terms of battery life, I got around 4 to 4.5 hours of screen on time. Again, the LG G6 has a 3300 mAh battery, and that battery life is about average to what you would get for that battery size. But overall, I think the battery life will get the job done for most consumers out there. 4 to 4.5 hours of screen on time is pretty good for most standards, and it's pretty good for most people, so I think the battery life on this phone is pretty solid. Now camera. The camera is a solid incremental improvement from the G5 we saw last year. It still has the dual camera system, one ultra wide angle lens and a normal non-wide angle lens. Both are 13 megapixel sensors, and they deliver crisp photos and videos with enough detail to get the job done. I would definitely rank it in the top 5 cameras on any smartphone right now. It's that good. But yeah, nothing really revolutionary at all with the camera here, just a solid incremental upgrade. So overall, this phone is really good and I really like it. If the features and the specs of this phone are in your scope of consideration for a great smartphone, then I would say that this phone is definitely for you. If you're not sure about getting this phone and maybe you have another phone that you're planning on getting, I'd still make the bet that you would still get a solid experience out of this phone, because this phone checks off all the boxes for a great smartphone, so it will basically deliver a solid experience to most people out there that decide to purchase this phone. And yeah, that's about it. Again, my name is Orhan. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.